Hey everybody, and welcome to the much anticipated KMFC Spring edition. Today we're going over Kyler's top five, 2024 top five little guys. As you recall, in the winter we did birds, and now we're moving on to the little guys for the category for our spring edition this year and every year. If you stay a part of the club, you will hopefully see these lists evolve and change. We're going to keep track of what all the favorites are. This specific category has a very special place in my heart. When Kyler and I first started talking, when I was on the boat when I met her in Alaska, she gave a talk over charismatic microfauna, which I thought was awesome. And then when we first started talking after the cruise, I made this little business card for her saying, giving the little guys the big spotlight. And you can see here some shield bugs and leaf hoppers, and maybe they'll make an appearance on the list today. But yeah, I love Kyler for so many reasons, and one of them is just how passionate she is about nature. And I know that the little guys have a very special place in her heart, so they have a very special place in mine. Oh, and if you don't know who I am, I'm Steve. I'm the PR person for the Kyler Mose fan club, and I put on these little top five lists four times a year, one in each season. So this is the second one, and it's very exciting. Okay, moving on. So we're actually real quick, where is our fearless leader right now? Kyler is still in New Zealand. And actually just recently, she got to the top of the summit of Mitre Peak here, which looks just insane. And if it doesn't look insane enough, she actually did it in just one day and back with her friend Mary Lou, who I'm told is also a member of the Kyler Mose fan club. So congratulations to you both. So fucking badass. That is crazy. There's no other word for it. Must be so fucking exciting to look at that thing and know that y'all two did that together. And it's such a cool fucking feat that y'all both had. So congratulations. So yeah, that's where Kyler is right now. And moving on, number five, we've got sea spiders from the class. I'm gonna butcher a lot of these words today. Here we go. Class Pycnogonida, aka Pycnogonids. I hope that's the right pronunciation because Kyler told me how to pronounce it last night. So if I got it wrong, that's completely on me. Apparently, these little guys are not true spiders, not true arachnids. I don't know who gets to decide that. I assume they don't spin webs because they're underwater, so maybe that's it. But they're true spiders to me. I mean, if that thing was on my skin, I would say that's a spider. Ugh, kind of look freaky. They're very cool looking. Just don't want one on me. So fun fact, this little guy over here, Cambropycnogon Klaus Mullery. I think he's German. This is the oldest known sea spider. There's actually debate over whether or not this guy's even a sea spider. This is, of course, an illustration. There's not many of them in the fossil record. But yeah, 50 to 100 million years old, I think this little guy is. He looks a lot like like one of those water bears, which they are distant relatives to, apparently. So that's our fun fact on the sea spiders. Okay, number four, shield bugs. Glad they made the list. The shield bug from the business card is included, and that makes me very happy. They're from the order Hemiptera and the family Pentatomidae. I imagine these guys are going to show up pretty often on the lists. But yeah, they this year's fun fact for them is going to be that they have piercing, sucking mouth parts. My entomology teacher from college would be super pissed if I did not mention that because I can still hear him in my head saying piercing, sucking mouth parts. And that allows them to begin digestion extra orally. So here's a little diagram of that piercing, sucking mouth part. They put out digestive enzymes like amylase, which allows them to pre-digest some of the food that they're about to eat. And yeah, that's pretty crazy, pretty cool. I'd be pissed if someone did that to me. If a big bug did that to me, I'd be like, stop doing that. But they eat mostly leaves. I think they actually just eat leaves. I know there are some hemipterans that are carnivorous, but I think so. I'm pretty sure I read that when I was researching for these. But I think these guys just eat plants, or I hope they do, because that'd be an awful way to go. Getting pierced and sucked and enzymed all over. That would not be fun. Okay. Number three, the plant hopper. From the infra order, I've never heard of that. Full, full, Fulgoromorpha. Made a fool out of me pronouncing that right. Yeah, okay. Infra order Fulgoromorpha. Here's a fun fact. So fulgoroid nymphs possess a biological gear mechanism at the base of their hind legs, which keeps the legs in synchrony when the insects jump. And as the insects mature, they actually lose that gear. So I did not read this, but making the logical jump here that I guess that gear is there to like help the nymphs learn how to be in sync. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but that's pretty cool, I think. And let's see. This is a picture of a species called Flatida rosea. These are the adults on the top there, I believe, and the nymphs on the bottom. Yeah, right. They look freaking crazy. This is a cool picture. I don't know what the hell is going on with all this stuff. But well, like the tail looking things. But yeah, that's cool. I'm not sure I'd want to. I think I'd want to hold the ones on top, but the ones on the bottom, I'm not sure I'd want to hold one of those. They look kind of freaky, but they look really cool. Okay. Yeah, that's full Morpha for you. Number two, copepod. Also have a feeling copepods are going to be a common appearance on this list. Because of their small size, copepods have no need of any heart or circulatory system, though the members of the order Calanoida do have a heart, but they do not have any blood vessels. They're small guys. Another fun fact, Kyler has a tattoo of a copepod on her left ring finger. And just take a look at these guys. I mean, they're freaking beautiful. I don't know how they got pictures like this, but I'm a huge, huge fan. Yeah, I feel like you get a poster of these and hang it up. I don't know. Even if you're not into copepods, how could you not be into copepods though? If you're part of the Kyler Mose fan club, you're into copepods. So you should get a poster to prove your membership in the Kyler Mose fan club. I'm gonna get one. I actually have one off camera. I'm not gonna move the camera, but yeah, you'll just have to take my word for it. Okay. So before we get to number one, we've got honorable mentions, right? These are my picks. Honorable mention number one, obviously Denver, because Denver's just a little guy. Denver's my dog, and she's the best dog. But she's definitely a little guy. She's the biggest little guy on this list, but she's a little guy. Denver might become an honorable mention on all of these fucking lists. As you'll recall, she was on no, she was not on the last one, but there was Shoebill Stork on the birds one. So next year on the bird one, for the honorable mentions, you will see Shoebill Stork and probably Denver, because I've seen Denver fly. She is a bird. But yeah, just rambling nonsense. I love my dog, if you can't tell. And then we've got Sheldon Plankton, who is a copepod. I believe that, right? Copepods are like a type of zooplankton. That might be wrong, and if that's wrong, I apologize. But I do know that plankton is a type of copepod, specifically this Sheldon plankton. Yeah, so he's obviously a lot of people think he's evil. I think he's misunderstood, and he's one of my favorite little guys. And then there's Naglaria fowleri, which is probably the scariest little guy that there is. Naglaria fowleri, better known by its name of the brain-eating amoeba. This little guy loves hot springs, and is actually in a lot of hot springs in New Zealand. So if you ever happen to go to a hot spring in New Zealand, don't put your head under, because these guys go up your nose, up your cribriform plate, that little bone in your nose there, and then then they just sort of feast on the neurotransmitters in your brain and eat your brain from the inside out, and it's terrifying. Once you start having symptoms, 99% fatality rate. It's terrible. But gotta respect nature. It's pretty crazy. So they made the list, and I say that as a warning to all my friends in New Zealand. Don't put your head under the hot springs, please. Okay. Number one, sorry, I didn't do a round of applause, but we have the ogre-faced spider. This is definitely not the ogre-faced spider. I don't know how this got in here, but that is a handsome looking spider. This is the actual ogre-faced spider, which looks insane. Um, I would be thoroughly pissed if I had a spider on me that looked like that, especially the one on the bottom right. Look how angry he looks. I know that Kyler would say he's a handsome little guy, and he is pretty devilish, but he's also devilish in the sense that he looks angry. Uh, but very cool. I will say. The ogre-faced is a solid nickname for these guys. Um, ogre-faced spider is the genus is Dinopus. Those are so broadly they're known as the ogre-faced spider, right? They're also known as gladiator spiders and net casting spiders. The most like well-known one, or the one I could find the most information on, was the one Dinopus spinosa, which is the one you see here in the bottom left, spinning its web. So spiders, though broadly in the genus Dinopus, they catch their prey in a pretty unusual but very cool fashion. They spin a small, upright, rectangular criblet web. This is then detached from its supporting threads and held horizontally above the ground by the spider's long front two pairs of legs, while the spider hangs almost vertically. Passing prey is then captured by dropping the net over it, which I think is gnarly. These little guys have come up with a very cool way to catch prey. And I'm very thankful that they can't catch me because I'm way bigger than them. But look, I mean, look at that. That's a very cool web. Spider webs are very, very cool. But I've certainly never seen a spider that does something like this. So I think they're very deserving of the #1 spot. And yeah, ogre-faced spider are #1 for the 2024 little guys list. So where does that leave us? Well, in 2024 so far, to remind you, the black-capped chickadee turned out #1 for the birds list in the winter. And now we have the ogre-faced spider. Look at that guy posted up. He is our spring champion. So we will have a fall edition, which I believe is going to be fish. I'm not sure we've officially decided. Sorry, that's going to be the summer one. And then in the fall, we're going to do sort of wild card, right? And then at the end of the year, we're going to have the critter of the year, which will be the best of the best for 2024. So will it be the black-capped chickadee? Will it be the ogre-faced spider, or will it be one of the two champions waiting to come out later this year? I don't know, but all I know is that if you want to find out, you got to tune in later in the year. So thank you all so much for watching. If you watched this far, it means that you are a true member of the Kyler Mose fan club. Your jean jacket and Crocs are in the mail. And yeah, thank you so much. Y'all have a good one.